What happened last weekend? We're heading into a new weekend. It's time to talk about Nick and Clav and Andrew Tate, all of the influencers who were in Miami last weekend. What the heck even happened? This is the revamp. This is the right wing. We're here. We're bringing you your news every single day. Make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you watch the whole video. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. I'm Jared Wright, and I love bringing you this content. Let's hear about what happened last weekend.
The right wing has been excellent. Jared Wright, Christian nationalist influencer.
So for those of you who don't know, there was a rather big thing that happened last weekend down in Miami with some of the biggest name influencers in the right-wing sphere. You had Tate Fuentes, you had Andrew Tate, you had this clavicular guy, you have Sneako, Justin Waller, all of them get together. They have this big, party, I think one of the Tate's houses. And then they're like, well, let's just go out downtown. Nick's never been out. Nick's an incel. This is going to be funny. Let's take Nick out to the clubs. It's going to be awesome. And they're streaming the whole thing. I think it's through Sneako's maybe. I don't know. And I don't watch that much of him, but it turned into quite the controversy this week. Because while they're out and about, doing wild things, picking up a lot of traction, going to some pretty big name bars in Miami, obviously people know who they are as they pull up in this nice Sprinter van, designer looking Sprinter van, and they go into the club and everybody's looking at them like, who are these people? They know exactly who they are. They go in there, they start dancing, they start partying, they're having fun. Nick is sitting there, he's drinking a freaking Red Bull, right? He's not drinking, he doesn't drink. And lo and behold, the song comes on. The song. NHH. You know what I'm talking about. You know who sings it. You know the lyrics. It comes on. The whole place goes ballistic. If we're being honest, the whole place goes nuts. They love it, right? They're going ballistic. They're dancing. It ends up, everyone's dancing, having a good time, singing along, doing the fingers, the bar thing. This is what you do in the bar. Everyone's having a great time. It goes to Andrew Tate, and he's just sort of sitting there like, kind of looking, trying to look tough. Maybe he's not actually wanting it to be on. Who knows? But he is there. Everybody's there. Everybody's having a good time. No big deal. It's like 30 seconds of the song. It's like, bum, bum, bum. And that, it barely even gets into the song. And, everyone has a good time. So they end up leaving, no big deal. They go back. They, have the little like post-game interviews. Is that what you even call that? When they get back from the bar and they're like, wanting to talk on the camera. I don't even know what you call that. I guess post-game interviews. That's what we're going to call it. And, they think everything's normal. Well, they wake up and they're literally banned from all of Miami at this point. Like, they wake up and they see the news and it's like, by the way, you can't do anything here in this town anymore. It's like Red Dead Redemption. I don't know if you've ever done that. You get like a bounty on your head and you're just like, yeah, you might as well not even step foot there. That's had to be what it felt like for them. So we're going to break the whole thing down because it's wild. You have the mayor making statements. The mayor of Miami coming out being like, there is no room for these anti-Semitic remarks. Doing that sort of action, He's upset. The news stations are picking up on it. Andrew Tate goes into several interviews and people are like all over him being like, dude, why were you here? Why were you dancing to this song? And to give him credit, he wasn't really dancing and he is in the middle of a lawsuit. So he's trying to like maintain a decent public persona. He's trying to be a good person, I guess you could say. So, he caused some issues with people. They're like, why is Andrew not dancing and why is he going back and selling out his friends? And there is something to that. Don't sell out your friends. Saying, well, he's the one that put it on. It's him. That's kind of childish, dude. Like from a alpha male. We really just want to like start selling everybody out. Is that like the goal here? I don't get that. It's not, that's not how I would roll, but that's fine. But the truth and the moral of this entire story is, while it's all entertaining, because it is, like I found it entertaining. I thought it was fun to watch. I thought it was funny. They're singing the song. The best part of the whole video was them in this like designer Sprinter van listening to country music and they're singing like some old Toby Keith. I should have been a cowboy. It's just good stuff. And Nick hates it. Nick hates country music. You have Andrew Tate and Justin Waller just absolutely blaring it, singing, having a good time. That's the part I enjoyed the most. But while it is entertaining, we have to be honest with ourselves about, is this really what we're supposed to be portraying in general? Is this really the personas that we want to follow as men of Christ? And it's like, yeah, you know what? I agree with a lot of the stuff. Probably, I would say over 75% of the stuff that I've heard any of those guys say. But is this really what we want to follow? Is this really the example that we want to have as Christ-like men working towards a Christian nationalist government, working towards a Christian nation? We are one, but we need to reattain that, get back to those morals. Is drinking and partying, or drinking, I guess, Red Bull, but partying out in the club and having this big, fight in public and all this stuff, and the girls are everywhere. Is that really what we want? So, you know what? I first seen that, and I didn't really think much of it. And then I got a little bit of conviction, honestly. I did. I was like, maybe these people are right. Maybe we should, think a little better. Maybe we should, not have this as our perfect example. And that's not to say everybody's perfect. Everybody screws up. I went to plenty of bars in college when I was younger. Now, that's not to say, that these guys, Myron Gaines was with them. Myron's like 35 or something, Nick's 27. I don't know how old Sneako is. Clavicular's 19. I don't even know how he got into the club or how he's drinking. I think everybody knows he's 19. Is that accurate? I've always heard he's 19. Is this the example that we want to have? I don't necessarily know if that's what we want. But hey, at least it's entertaining, right? At least it caused enough controversy to move into this free speech argument and debate. That's the win of all of this, is you have a big debate right now about free speech. Can you play certain songs? Is that so bad? Even if it says a bad word in it, even if it says HH in it, it's like, who cares? And that's sort of the point of the song. It's kind of like a middle finger to free speech in general. That's why Ye made it the way he made it. It's sort of like, hey, screw y'all. I want to do whatever the heck I want to do. Is that anti-Semitic? Are you gonna condemn me? What are we gonna do? You gonna take all my shekels? That's the whole point of it. So can we really not even listen to a song anymore? I mean, we have to, like I said, this is such an issue. All of these issues that we see in the modern times are not black and white. Y'all have to wake up to that. There's such a large gray area, and you have to look at it from a multifaceted point of view. Yeah, you know what? It was somewhat entertaining to watch and to laugh at and to see how people reacted. I'm not going to lie about that. But at the same time, I think we can accept, hey, maybe this isn't the best example of Christ. Maybe this isn't the best example for other Christians about how to be living their lives. We can have both points of view. We can also take both of those and add in a third one and say, but why can they not play the song at the club? Why can they not, sing and dance to it? It's freedom of speech, dude. If does a word hurt your feelings that bad? You're calling me a bigot, and yet a word hurts your feelings? So the whole thing's crazy. And now Miami's on shutdown. Supposedly Miami's going around like to people's houses being like, hey, you posted this on social media. I think it's a little bit anti-Semitic, don't you? Excuse me? Is this Britain? Is this Britain right now? I mean, I thought this was America. That made me think of those two dudes in Florida. It's always Florida dudes. The two dudes in Florida who both put on the bulletproof vests and shot each other to see if they worked. And then they both got arrested. I'm like, are you kidding me? I thought this was freaking America. We can't even shoot each other while we're wearing bulletproof vests? What is this? There's a certain freedom you have to have within that. So I think that's the conclusion we have to come to about what happened last weekend. I can't even imagine what's going to happen this weekend. After last weekend, who knows what's going to happen to this weekend? Good luck following that up. As always, I'm Jared Wright. This is The Right Wing. Make sure you follow along. Hit all the buttons down below. Follow. I'm going to post these videos a lot for you. So if you want to keep up to date with the news, if you want to see the real truth, if you want to hear the real truth, if you think we should maybe have a Christian nationalist government, you'll probably like this page. Make sure you follow along, and I hope you have a great day.